Shalom, shalom. Here we go again. Here we go. Welcome to Mother Africa Be Calling. I'm your brother, Betsulel Yehudi Yisrael, also known as Eric. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Share, subscribe. Share, subscribe. So anyway, I'm here. I'm back in US, aka Babylon. I'm here in Maryland. And so yeah, today's topic is a hot one. I'm just gonna give this title right here is the one of the main reasons why I would never want to live here in the US and I prefer to live in Mother Africa. One of the main reasons is the cost of living, the cost of just living. The Most High has given us life, but He didn't give us life that we have to pay another man just to live. Can you imagine that? The Most High said, "Yeah, I'm gonna give you life, and when you get there, you gotta pay these people so you can live." Well, that's how it is here in Babylon, especially where I am in Maryland, in the Baltimore area. These people have given the energy companies whatever they want, right? I'm talking about our legislators. Well, I ain't gonna say our, not my legislators, because I don't vote for these devils. I'm talking about the legislatures of Maryland and of the city of Baltimore and Maryland. Listen, these people, right? These people, they completely, I think they are the energy company. I think these people that sit in the House of Delegates and that sit in the Senate, senators, delegates, and the governor, these people come right, I think they come out of the company at this point. Them and this Public Service Commission, they're appointed to regulate the energy company, which has a monopoly. It's called BGE. It has a parent company, Exelon or something like that. I really don't care about the name of it. Let me see. I got the name of it right here. This daggone bill they gave me. What is it? It's a BG Exelon is the parent company. Whatever. It's all a bunch of crap. They made up a parent company. It used to be just BGE. They made a parent company just to do more dirt. So anyway, all right. Now, my bill, but then let's get down to the meat. I did a video, the last video I did was something similar to this. And this is Mother Africa Be Calling. This is so important for Mother Africa Be Calling because I'm just trying to show people it's not just running back to Africa because, we woke up and we found out we the children of Israel or, we black and we want to connect to our roots and all that kind of stuff. And then you got these people call themselves foundational black Americans and all that that's fighting against us and all this stupid stuff. Look, it ain't about that. All right. This one of the main reasons why you want to go if you can and you have the resources and you have the ability to do it. You want to go back to the motherland. Why? Because you can live a better life, right? A better life, abundant life. You can live better because financially, right? The demand of just survival is not like it is here, right? So anyway, the last 2 months, my electric bill was over $1,100. That's like a mortgage payment, right? And it just keeps going up. You don't know when you open up your bill, you're scared to open it because it's like the mob showing up saying, "Hey, me." You don't know what it's going to be. And no matter how much house be freezing, got the furnace down, trying to save energy, cutting it off and everything. Like, no, this is just running up. And it's like the people are just crying out and going through this in the legislature. Who has the power to regulate in Maryland, right? They have the power to regulate because, there has been Supreme Court decisions that has given states the right to regulate businesses and their pricing, right? You can look them up. I don't remember the names off the top of my head, but anyway, and it's proven because we had regulations on Energy Company. This is a monopoly in Baltimore. It's called BGE, again, BGE. Exelon is the parent company. But let me tell you what the legislative that our people vote for. Let me show you what they do, these devils that people go out and vote for. That's what, I'm going to tell you why you should vote. But listen to this. Listen to this. Let me get my glasses. So, the state of Maryland deregulated its electricity industry in 1999. See, Maryland had regulations on the energy company, right? And we were doing good, right? The prices was reasonable because a business needs money to operate and to pay its employees and make a profit. So it's fine, right? That's okay. We're not upset about what's reasonable, right? Prices that are reasonable, right? So everything was reasonable. So in 1999, this is what the state of Maryland deregulates the electricity industry in 1999. Why would they do that? Why would you deregulate it? Because they got paid by this company, right? To deregulate it. They ain't do it for nothing. But listen, this is where they disrespect. This is where they disrespect the population of the people. They see the people as retarded and dumb. They say they're a bunch of zombies. We can do whatever they want and tell them whatever we want. Listen to their reasoning why they deregulated it, and the prices since then has been going up and up and up. Listen, they said state of Maryland deregulated its electricity industry in 1989 with the passage of the Electric Customer Choice and Competition Act of 1999, right? This legislation allowed for restructuring of the industry, breaking up utility monopolies, and introducing customer choice for electricity providers, which took effect on July 1st, 2000. So ever since that, the bills have been going up and up and up. So they said they did it to break up a monopoly and then to introduce customers choice for electricity providers. Like, so you have, oh, well, I don't have to go with BGE, which now has a monopoly. There's no other company to go with. I can go with this company or that company, and the prices, now I can say, well, they're giving it to me for this price. So I'm gonna go to them, and then that make them bring theirs down. Listen, one thing has nothing to do with the other. This is where they look at the public as just plain out stupid. You didn't have to deregulate the prices. You didn't have to deregulate the electricity. You could have kept the regulations on and still broke up the monopoly, right? The monopolies are illegal. So once you say no, BGE, Baltimore Gas and Electric Company, you cannot be the sole provider of energy in Baltimore City or to the Baltimore, Maryland area. You cannot do that because it's against the law. So now we're going to have to allow other companies to come in and compete with you, right? They could have did that and still kept the regulations because it wasn't going to be unfair for BGE because if the other companies come in, the regulations will be on them too, right? So just because you got competition does not mean that you shouldn't be regulated. No, all of them should be regulated, right? So this how stupid that they look at the people who they come out and beg you to vote. They come out and beg you to vote, but they go right back in their office and vote and do everything to destroy your life, right? That's what they do. They go and deregulate the energy company and then tell you, oh, it's because we wanted you to have competition because it was a monopoly and we want to bring in more companies so you can have choice. Well, you could have did that and kept the regulations. One has nothing to do with the other. Break up the monopoly, keep the regulations on all of them, right? So anyway, that's how stupid they think we are, and that's how they deal with the people who they ask you, the people who vote for them. This is how they deal with you. They go back and they go upside your head, okay, and go in your pockets. They gangster, right? Okay. So then what they did was, so then they even put a wall up, right, to protect themselves from the backlash of that decision. This is what they did. They created what they call a public service commission, a commission that has a board that whenever the one energy company that rules this area, this energy company wants a rate hike, which is almost every single year in this they have to get permission from this board called the Public Service Commission, right? Not from the legislatures, right? Not from the legislature, the governor, the delegates, the senates of the state, the Senate and the delegates of the state and the governor. They don't have to get permission from them. They shifted and said, "Oh, we're gonna create an entity. It's called the Public Service Commission that will basically regulate the pricing, right? Which they not. So they saying, oh, this company, they can't. A company can't just raise their prices without getting permission from this commission, Public Service Commission. So that means that way, because if people get angry because of the price hikes, that the Public Service Commission keeps giving this company, right? They every time they ask for an increase, yes, you can have it. They go, oh, we're investigating it, or and this and that. But yeah, they get it every single time, right? So then the legislator now, it's not our fault, it's the Public Service Commission. So if you trust in these people and you believe in the system and you're voting and all that stuff, then you the type person that's involved and you start calling up your state senators and your state delegates in the governor's office and you start writing emails and you start raising fuss, they say, oh, yeah, get in touch with the Public Service Commission. We don't handle that. Basically, we don't have no power. Is given to the Public Service Commission. They have given them the rate increase. So Public Service Commission is not voted on, right? Public Service Commission is just some entity that's just put into effect. So now they have now shifted. We're like they behind it now, but they put themselves up a wall. It's on the Public Service Commission. They gave them the pricing. Yeah, we're suffering from it too. Yeah, look, I have to use electricity too. I know I'm your senator, but I go through the same thing. Public Service Commission gave them the rate hike. The Public Service Commission is nothing but the company itself. The energy company, these people, come on now, these people all together. They all together. It's obvious. If you keep saying they ask for a rate increase and they keep saying, yeah, yeah, yes, you can have a rate increase. Oh, we're looking into it. Then why we want to look into it and wonder why do you need a rate increase? That's what they always put out in the media. Public Service Commission is asking why do they need a rate increase and all that foolishness like they can. But then at the end of the whole matter, yeah, you get it. So they don't need rate increases, right? It's only greed. Let me tell you, let me break it down to make it where it's understandable. The rates need to be going down and down and down. They don't need a rate increase. Let me tell you why. Because the energy that they're selling us, they're getting it and nothing is changing for them. What's changing for them? Huh? What's changing? The sun still shines, the rain still falls, right? The air still blows, the ocean keeps the same amount of water in it. The earth is still doing all the same things it's doing. Whatever they get it from Mother Earth. And nothing has changed. But we need a rate increase because it isn't that. Or they say because of the infrastructure, the delivery of the electric. Okay, the electric lines and the poles is up. I look in my neighborhood, that stuff been here for 20 foot. I've been in this house, I own this house this year, be 30 years in June. The same poles and the same electric lines. I ain't seen them change nothing, right? And then they say they charge for delivery fee to deliver your electricity. My bill last month, they saying to deliver the electricity to my house, meaning the electricity running through the lines, which is something that shouldn't cost nothing. $200 that on that alone, and $399 for the use of electricity when it's freezing cold in here. We're cutting the unit off and trying to conserve energy because of the prices, right? We're trying to keep the price down. They still bill went up to $399, and then $200 to bring it to you through electric lines. And the state legislatures allowed this electric company to buy the poles and the electric lines, right? So therefore, they got a monopoly on that. So even if another company comes in, they still own the line. So if another company comes in and sells you energy, the energy got to come through BGE lines because the state legislators allowed them to own the electric poles and lines, which is something that should be uh, owned by the state and it should be covered by taxpayers. The infrastructure should be in the hands of the taxpayers, meaning that nobody should be owning roads and bridges. So then you have to pay private people to drive down the street. Same thing with the electric lines. These electric lines and gas pipes that bring energy to your house are public necessities, right? So if you don't have electricity where it gets cold here in Maryland, sometimes at 0 degrees, people can die, right? So now you have to pay to live and be frightened because you might can't afford it. And some people have froze and died. But this how evil and wicked these people are. They sold the electric lines to the electric company and let them charge whatever price they want to charge to claim to deliver it. That's supposed to be owned by the taxpayers, and if repairs need to be done, it should be paid through our taxes, since they tax the hell out of us. They tax us so much. So we pay all this money in taxes. And then on top of paying all this money just to live, the Most High did not make it for us to have to pay another man just to live and then to be stressed out about it because of his greed. It never ends. The greed of man never ends. That's why there are all alternatives. Most High give you. That's why I don't vote. I vote for Yah. I vote for Yah. I look straight to him for my help, right? And because of that, hallelujah, he has blessed me that I have a way out. Leave this place and go right into Mother Africa. No, she ain't perfect in all her infrastructure and perfect, but in all her ways, nothing is perfect in the earth until Yeshua returns. He's going to turn it over. But we can get relief, right? We can get relief by escaping Babylon. You could take your small resources you have, if you have income, a continuous monthly income, you can go over into Mother Africa or other places if you want, and you can live, a better life without being stressed out about them, price gouging on just things to live, just things that you need to live, like energy, right? If you don't have gas coming into your house, how do you cook, or electricity coming in your house? How do you cook, right? So the way it used to be, which they got us out of, people would be able to go into the woods, cut down some timber, have a fireplace or have a wood burning stoves and cook on them and everything, right? You had well water, right? Well, where you would get your own water out of the aquifer, out of the ground. The Most High, he gave us these things free. But these evil, wicked jokers, they found a way to make us pay for things that were free, right? So they getting it free. Think about it. The water belongs to Yah. So when you dig down into the earth and well, you draw water out of it, right? And you do that, that's coming from Yah, right? They didn't came, and now I can't even dig. They've got laws now that in Maryland, where I am, I can't dig a well and use my own well water right here where I am. I can't, even though I have the land space around my house that I can dig a well and bring in my own water. The energy companies and all this, they made all this stuff against the law, right? The energy companies, their lobbyists pay our legislators, who are our enemy. That's why you go out and vote for your enemy. Okay, they pay them to make it where as though we're going to need them. Okay, let's talk about the energy company also getting the legislature, the government to regulate like solar panels. This person came to my house and said he wants to sell me solar, and I said, well, no, you want to rent it to me, but I'm the type of person that if I'm going to get the solar, I want to be off the grid and I'm not paying, I'm going to buy the whole system. And he said, well, you can't do that here in Maryland. You can't. You cannot get off the grid. You can't do it. So he's telling me that the law is basically this. If you get solar panels, you have to get a licensed company to come in and they get to get permits to put the solar up and everything. If you tell them, look, no, I want complete off the grid, I want the battery backup system and all that stuff like you can get in other places like in Africa where you can completely get off the grid. They can't do that because they have license and they have inspections and everything. So these energy companies has paid the legislators to make laws to make sure that you can't completely get off the grid because they saying then you won't have to pay them. Ain't that gangster? Are they not the mafia? That is gangster, right? And so the legislature, why would they even do something like that if they're for the people? They're not. The whole system is not. It is a shaitan, the devil, right? So when you when they come knocking on your door around time to vote and all that stuff, I suggest that if you do open the door, ask them, do you lie? And if they say no, say, well, then I know you can never, ever, ever be a senator or delegate for the state, or you could never be a congressperson or senator, a U.S. senator or U.S. congressperson or president or anything like that. You can never be that because the only way you can be that, you have to be a straight devil and a liar, or the system won't allow you to remain in office. You have to be totally for the corporations and don't care if people die and freeze in their homes and don't care if they can't afford health care. You have to be a ruthless joker. You need to vote for everything that they want. This is how they are. You tell them that, and then you say, well, if you don't lie, then you can't be in office. So, and if you lie, I'm not voting. I mean, I don't vote. I don't participate in it. Like again, I say, Yah, I vote with Yah. Yah, I pray to Yah through his son Yeshua. That's it. And I'm doing okay. Right. Yes, I'm pissed because I really don't want to have to pay anything to these devils. But because, my family are, they love Babylon. They don't want to, you know, uh, they don't think like me. They don't want to go somewhere where you could live better, right? For a fraction of the cost and also have fresher things, more beautiful land, beautiful beaches and everything. You know what I mean? It's not, no, nothing is perfect because Yeshua has not returned. If everything was perfect, Yeshua wouldn't have a reason to return. But meanwhile, before his return, we have options. If you have a monthly income that's just continuous, you don't have to stay here and put up with this, especially seniors. You're getting Social Security. Look into places to go. Mother Africa, it's 54 countries. You can do your research or whatever. Take your time, get some people that you can trust, people who already did it, people who, a lot of times, people from here, like me, myself, can tell you which zones to go in and what you can look for. Okay. I ain't gonna tell you everything's perfect over there, but I'm gonna tell you like this. My bills over there, if I didn't have to have family here, I'd be like, oh shoot, I ain't worrying about nothing. My bills over there are so reasonable, okay? So if I get so let's say my electric bill in my one apartment, stay in it. It's 2 bedroom, 2 bath, it's a nice size apartment. I would say the highest is $50 a month on electricity. And that's because I'm in a tourist area. And the reason why it's even higher than is like would be 50, and that's the highest I would think I would pay, is because I'm in the tourist area and we have a generator, right? And so therefore, whenever, because over in Africa, so the electricity goes out, a lot. It goes out and it comes back on. But where we are, as soon as it go out, the generator kick in within a few seconds, right? So I'm okay to pay for that convenience. But I say maybe $50 a month for AC, running your AC, $50 a month, you know. So, and then, some parts of the day you don't really need it, but I'm just simply saying, you paying over here. Like I say, I just paid over $1,100 for 2 months, and it's uncomfortable in the house. If I would let the heat just run and be make myself comfortable, instead of paying 1,100, I'd pay about 1,800 probably in 2 months. Maybe maybe 2,000 in 2 months, 1,000 a month. That's how bad it is. It's that bad. It's terrible, right? It greed. These people are greedy. Why in 1999? What's the difference? Why is the prices higher now than 1999? What's the difference? The prices shouldn't even go up because nothing has changed in the earth. They wherever they're getting their energy from, like the water. We talked about the water, right? It's okay. So it's public water now. The water you can't get a well, so the government gets to distribute the water for you, so they can charge you whatever they want, so they can make money too, right? So here's the thing: where they getting the water from? They getting it for free. They digging it out the ground. They just got a well. So why can't they have a well and get it for free? I can do that over in Mother Africa. I can. I can get solar panels in Mother Africa, get a backup battery, and have sun all year round, and don't pay nothing for electricity. Just have my system and water, and it's free, right? After you pay for it, it's yours. Over here, they won't even let you. If you have the resources to get a well dug and get the water system all hooked up where it come in your house for free, get a filtration system if you need it or whatever. You can get solar panels with the battery backup system and all that stuff. They won't even let you do that. And on top of it, your taxes you got to pay every year on your house after you pay taxes when you first bought it. Every year annually, the taxes keep going up. You got to pay taxes every year. You got to just keep paying taxes every year. Well, tell you a secret. I own houses I own apartments over in Africa, and I pay taxes. I did. I pay taxes. I paid my taxes when I purchased it. I ain't paying taxes every year, right? I don't have to pay taxes. I paid it up front. It's just like when you buy something, a car, whatever. Here, once you pay for your car every year, you don't have to pay taxes on a car. Now that hopefully they don't, they're going to probably end up doing that here. They're going to say, oh yeah, every year you got to pay tax on your car. They found a way to do it anyway, because like you have to your tags, you have to renew your tags every year. So what kind of stuff is that? The tags is new. The tags is the same. You got the same metal tags on your car, but you got to get a new sticker. Something that is less worth less than a daggone penny. It's costing you $200 every year. You got to do that. So they taxing you every year on your car after you buy it anyway. So I'm saying this is the kind of stuff that they do here. These wicked people. They wicked. So that's what I'm saying. Mother Africa calling. It's your brother Bessel Yehudi Israel, also known as Eric. So yeah, hey, look, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, talk to me, tell me how you feel, whatever about this situation, if you're dealing with it, whatever state you're from. I think Maryland is the most corrupt state with respect to the utility companies. They are the highest in the country. If not, they're at least in the top five, I would believe. It is horrible. These people, they sold the people out, and I'm telling you. So yeah, leave a comment, talk to me, tell me how you feel. Share, subscribe this message. This may be soothing to some other people. You could also, if you want to ask me some questions about Africa, about my opinion of where it'd be good to go ahead and maybe buy something. You know, I can give you what I know. I'll give you the best that I know. And yeah, and keep up with me. Keep on coming back to the channel, my faithfuls. I talk to you. When you leave something to comment, I'm getting back with you and everything, because this is your channel. Mother Africa is your channel. And if you guys a topic that that you feel like you want me to look into or talk about, whatever, let me know. I mean, I can't guarantee you that I will. It depends on what it is that I will get into it, but I might. You know what I mean? So, it does not hurt to ask, right? So anyway, I don't think this is the end of this topic right here for me. Again, as long as I got family that they love Babylon again, and they like it. They don't care what the price is. They just want to stay here. And if I didn't have that situation, oh man, this wouldn't even be really not for me to discuss. It would put it this way: I still discuss it for the people, the people here that stuck here that I love, people I would say. But it would be, a smaller, I will talk about it, in a smaller segment because I will be gone. Right. So again, Mother Africa calling, it's your brother Bessel Yehudi Israel, also known as Eric. Hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Keep up with your boy. All right, we'll talk a little bit later. Shalom, shalom.